Hey everyone, Pastor Jamie here, wishing you and your loved ones a very Merry Christmas. However you celebrate today, whether it's surrounded by loved ones or maybe by yourself. If you are remembering and celebrating traditions of old, like I talked about in my sermon yesterday, or starting new ones like me and my new family are going to be doing. May God's many blessings be upon you this day, and may you remember that the true meaning of Christmas and the reason for the season is our Savior, Jesus Christ, born among us today. Which, speaking of that, I've been doing some thinking of the Christmas story today. And thinking about, in our Gospels, we hear the birth of Jesus is told in Matthew and Luke. Matthew's version is a little expedited, and the angel comes to Joseph, and the baby is born. We don't get a lot of details. It is Luke that I preached on yesterday, and we hear every year with the census and the travel to Bethlehem and the manger birth and the shepherds come. But there's a third Christmas story in John's Gospel, which is not really a Christmas story, because it's not talking about the baby Jesus being born. But if you know how the gospel goes, it begins with the words, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." This is to tie Jesus, who is the Word, this embodiment of God's speaking life into being, and that word for word is where we get the word logic. It's logos. It means word, this embodiment of God's being. John ties us to the entire story of the Bible. If you recall, the book of Genesis begins with the words "in the beginning," and John is connecting Jesus with all that God has been doing since the beginning of creation. When creation happened, Jesus was there. So yeah, Jesus is born as a baby among us today, but Jesus is fully human and fully God. Jesus was there at the beginning, born 2,000 years ago, and still present among us today. But my favorite part of the story from John's Gospel is there's a line John writes where he says the Word became flesh. And that word for flesh that the gospel writers use in Greek is sarx, which again translates to flesh, but John could have used a lot of different words, right? Could have said the Word became human, the Word was born as Jesus was, but he said the Word became flesh, which means God became like us. Flesh is something that ages, and it's something that bleeds, and it's something that decays. Flesh is one of the most beautiful parts of being human. It's what makes us us, and also one of the more repulsing things about humanity. And flesh is real. It's yucky at times, but it is beautiful. Anyway, I'm rambling, but the point is, John's Gospel and the story of Jesus' birth really highlights the fact that Jesus became like us. And it's a beautiful reminder this Christmas that everything we experience, everything we feel, everything this flesh of ours does in this life, Jesus has done. And that's where God chose to be. So this Christmas, as we remember the baby born in the manger, may we also remember the Word that's been here since the beginning, that is a part of our lives now, and the fact that God desired to be with us so much that God became not just human, but flesh. So may that God, who so desires to be with us, dwell with you today and all days, and pray upon you the patience of Joseph, the joy of Mary, and the wonders of our Savior's birth. Merry Christmas to you all, God's blessings, and take care.